Welcome back, everyone. 7:45 is the time, and we continue our Chat with the Chief series this morning here. Cedar Park Police Chief Sean Mannix has been answering your questions this morning since 6 o'clock this morning. So take a look at some of the topics that you've been asking him about. City growth, you wanted to know about violent crime, property crime, that's always a big topic, and state legislation. And then also, I think we've been getting a lot of questions about some news that the chief broke here this morning about the investigation into the death of Katie Eager and the murder arrest warrant that's been issued for Adam Richard Solis. That is her boyfriend.
Yes.
In that documentation, the court documents, do you lay out a motive, and can you explain anything to us about that?
Well, there's very little that I could talk about as far as the actual details of the case, because it's a multi-part process. Right now, we've reached the probable cause bar to get a warrant issued and to get him arrested. There's still a lot of investigation that needs to be done in building the criminal case. So, you know, the actual details of motive and what actually happened is really better unfolded in the courtroom than in an interview process.
I understand. Do you know if he's cooperating at all, though, with your detectives and investigators just yet?
We have talked to him the day that the crime was reported, and that was on a voluntary basis. It was a non-custodial interview. At this time, I don't believe he's talking any longer.
Okay, we know that you'll talk a little bit more about this case as much as you can at 10 o'clock.
As much as I can.
Exactly, in a news conference. I appreciate you revealing that information for us this morning.
You bet.
But let's talk about your goals for 2014. Cedar Park Police Department, you've been the head of those officers for the past 2 years, right?
2 years now.
All right, let's talk about what you would like to see in 2015.
Well, what I'd really like to see in 2015 is for us to maintain and build on our status as one of the safest cities in Texas.
That's right, yeah.
And you know, the way we're going to do that is to continue offering the police services that we've historically offered. I've just done a complete reorganization of the police department, and one of the things I'd like to build on is our neighborhood enhancement team, which is kind of a street response team, where we could do a little bit more proactive policing, you know, hotspot policing, and do policing a little more predictive in nature as opposed to reactive.
I see. Get the community involved when it comes to fighting crime.
Absolutely.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we just rolled out our Smart 911 program.
I saw that.
You know, as a way to involve the community in helping us by giving us the information that they believe is important to a first responder before we ever show up at their house.
I thought that was key, because this is a way for you to get the exact address, right?
Yeah, so if somebody's calling in on a cell phone, instead of us depending on geolocation that tells us, well, that cell phone is somewhere in this general area.
In that area.
And then having to depend on the caller to tell us this is where I'm at right now.
Right.
When they may be incapacitated, if they're registered with Smart 911, if that phone is registered to an address in proximity to where the phone is geolocated, we know that's the house that we go to. And we've already gotten some feedback from the community where that was helpful in a call just the other night when somebody had an alarm go off at 3:30 in the morning and was very worried. Very
worried, and maybe just can't talk at that time, and then this will give them, police officers, the access to go directly to them.
Yes, and they were very thankful at the response time. They said, I got a very complimentary email from that particular person.
Oh, that's nice. You know, and I also noticed that when we were chatting with you and our viewers, that you were very responsive to say, you know what, email me too. If there's something that's wrong, I want to hear from you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's part of what we do and who we are. We have to be accessible to the community that we serve. And I'm just another member of the department that needs to be just as responsive as a beat cop.
Oh, okay. So 2015, we talk about community policing and helping with that. Anything else that you really want your officers to work on, or that you want yourself to work on?
Well, you know, internally, one of my goals for our officers is wellness.
Wellness.
One of the things that is remarkable in police work these days is the number of officers that die in the line of duty, not from gunfire, not from being run over by cars, and you know, not by other violent events, but from coronary heart disease, and very prevalent in policing, because we work, you know, 24-hour cycles in the middle of the night, which means dashboard dining and, you know, eating bad and those kinds of things. So one of the things I want to do for my troops is to roll out, you know, more wellness programs and, you know, learn more about nutrition and stuff. And I actually brought a physician on board as a reserve officer to that end.
A medical doctor?
Yes, I've Dr. John Scheinberg, a local cardiologist, is a member of the Cedar Park Police Department.
Interesting. I appreciate your time and all of the insight. We really loved talking to you this morning.
Well, thank you for having me this morning.
All right, Chief. So